Lovely to see you again,
Lovely
my
to see
friend.
you too. How are you?
Congratulations on this, your first foray into the Marvel universe.
It certainly is.
Were you particularly invested in the whole franchise before that particular universe?
Well, as an audience, yeah. I loved watching them, but I wasn't big on comics when I was growing up. And I think the first sort of superhero I got into was actually DC one. It was Batman. If I say it quietly, no one will hear, right?
No, of course
DC
not.
Batman. I think, and most I remember of my year at school were really enthralled to Michael Keaton's Batman. That was kind of my first, like, wow, yeah.
Which kind of dates me, because my Batman was clearly many years before that, right? It's like everyone has their Marvel, everyone has their Doctor Who.
It puts us all in our kind of chronology, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, Doctor Strange, they say, less cosmic, you know, the likes of Thor, etc.
Yes.
And sort of more supernatural, if you like. Was that the appeal?
The appeal was twofold. One was sort of going. It was weird because it was Muse as an idea a long time ago when I was on a rooftop in LA of Bad Robots, the production company, JJ's production company that made Star Trek Into Darkness, that was why I was there and why I was talking to a journalist. And they just went, "You'd make a great Doctor Strange." And I went, "Doctor Who?" And he went, "That too." And I went, No. Who is this character, Doctor Strange? And I then looked at the comics and thought, whoa, okay, they're really out there, and very of their era, this moment in, especially sort of West Coast American culture where Eastern mysticism met the West for the first time, and kind of that era. And I was sort of like, well, this is an interesting character, and then I just heard the rumblings that he was going to be part of this new wave, a new chapter of the MCU. Met with Kevin Feige, who pitched the idea of him, and this was a couple of years later, and I got really excited. I thought, yes, this is quite a strange and interesting and different direction for them to go in, no pun intended, and it really was. It really was. It was.
They were very excited about the prospect of you being in the role. You know, obviously, having seen it, you could possibly be the only person you could imagine ever playing it, because the character itself was a long time in development before they were brave enough to actually bring Doctor Strange back into the fold.
Yes, he was, I think. I don't know about all the machinations. I just know that Kevin Feige does it with a lot of superfan love, and that sort of permeates every aspect. And you work hard, they're long hours, but my goodness, it's good fun.
That's hugely infectious, isn't it, when you've got that enthusiasm around you?
It really is, and to have that much kind of faith put in you, of course it makes you kind of tighten a little bit. You know you've got the responsibility to try and deliver, but you have the best people in the world working for you. You know, no hardship is really taken. It's just applying yourself and going, yeah, okay, I'll throw myself around and do those press-ups and keep working the script and talking through shots. Some are very complicated, sort of technically, to master. And we had, partly again because of my fault and their generosity in rescheduling, usually they have about a year's turnaround between production and what's the word? Not opening. Putting the show on, whatever that word is in cinema language. God, I can't even think. Between basically the film opening and when they do the last shot to finish all those incredible worlds of special effects that they create in post. They had 6 months. So a lot of edit and a lot of sort of approvals were happening during our making of the film, which was a sort of double workload for Scott Derrickson, so hats off to him. And he was the final year as well, when I met him and he pitched the character arc, because basically, did I ache to be a super? No, I really didn't.
That's my next point. Yeah.
I just, as an actor, it's something on a scale I've never done before, but unless the material was going to be a challenge or interesting, I wouldn't have bit. And the minute Scott said, this is, and described and pitched the character arc to me in the film, I thought, that's going to be great fun for me to do.
And he's much more cerebral, isn't he, than your average superhero?
I don't know. People say this, but there are some very, I think most superheroes are pretty smart. And what is, cerebral? It comes in many packages, doesn't it? You can be a presenter and be smart. You can be a neurosurgeon and be smart. Yeah.
We're going to have to lose that in the end. No one's going to buy that.
No, but seriously, it's just. Intelligence manifests in very different ways, and yes, this guy is a neurosurgeon, but he's incredibly blind to the gilded cage that his materialism and self-serving careerism has brought him. And it's only really when he has a cataclysmic car accident that he's asked to question who he is and try and redefine that. And that's by losing everything that he had. So not that smart, I guess.
Tell us about the physical side of it as well. You mentioned throwing in the old press up there. There's a lot more to it than that. Kung Fu,
Yes.
I've been told.
Yes.
And clearly you can see it.
A little bit of that, yes. And amongst the special effects, you can see my limbs flailing around in an attempt to look fightery. I mean, thank God I was actually playing someone who was in his infancy of learning this. So that kind of played into my less good attempts. But no, in all honesty, you have the most incredible people teaching you the kind of core strength you need for wire work. And there was a lot of wire work in this. Wire work. No wire work, just wire work. Because my face was featured in a lot of the previous stuff. That's signed off. I don't have a mask, I don't have a helmet, I don't have any kind of thing.
So you're swinging by wires and you've got to be there. And
it's got to be
flailing limbs, yeah.
Flailing limbs. So to do that, that's a whole craft in itself. Then there are the actual, fisticuffs, the sort of hand-to-hand or weapon-to-weapon. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. There's a point weirdly with me where I kind of go, oh God, this is going to be such hard work. And everyone's like, yes, we've got this choreography. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's going to be... I can sort of see how long it's going to take to get there. But the minute you start doing it and get a few knocks and scrapes, you just, the adrenaline takes over and you are being, like I said, guided by just the best in the world. People from, the Hong Kong martial arts scene to the most incredible stunt coordinators from America to our own English crews of doubles and again, another group of people like the SFX team who've been Oscar nominated, the stunt team have been nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award for the best stunt ensemble, which I'm thrilled about because...
Well, this is great, because as you say, you pointed out, we've known each other for quite some time now, our audience, frequently cross. Yeah. And your life must have changed beyond recognition, or has it? I mean, obviously surrounded by the best of people when you're actually making this
I think the bigger changes are the ones at home, to be honest.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, another one on the way.
Thank you. I never shook a hand on that, but yeah, there you go.
That's fatherhood. You're all lit
wonderful.
Up.
It's wonderful.
Is that everything you imagined?
Yeah, much more, much more. But those are the more profound things that shape your life. I think. Yeah, of course, the fame that certain gigs bring you can alter the circumstances as well, and affects family, obviously. But I would say I'm very lucky that this came to me over a long period. It wasn't the first job I ever got that catapulted me into the limelight in such a spectacular way that Sherlock and then this and other things as well have done. And I'm very grateful for that, for the simple reason that it means I have a lot of sort of... What's the word I'm searching for? Well, they're almost like foundations, I suppose, of things I go back to kind of ground my reality, which are to do with family and friends and people who've known me much longer than anyone has through my fame. And so it's a constant reality check for me. And I get ribbed and I get brought down to earth.
I'm sure you do. Well, it's that British thing, isn't it? Being a dad, will that influence roles you pick moving forward, or I suppose it's early days?
Of course, yes. I want them to know that what I do for a living, and they can't always. I say they, because I was the other one on the way, but I can't always because of the certification of my films. They'll be, we'll all be a lot older by the time they get to see them. But I don't know. Yes, I would like to definitely do some child-friendly work in the future. And I've done a bit, but yeah. There might be a little bit more of that.
All your nominations, so many Gongs awards you've been nominated for, etc., and won over the years, all for these ferociously intelligent people.
Some, yes.
The Turings, Stephen Hawkins, of course.
Yes.
Your first BAFTA TV nomination, that
Yes,
was.
it was.
And Van Gogh as well.
Yes.
And now Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
Okay, great. You won't be playing me anytime soon, clearly, cerebral presenter or otherwise.
Like I said, they're all very different characters. They have obsessions, they have blind spots, and they have utter transcendent brilliance in their chosen fields, or the things we now celebrate them for. Sadly, in the case of Van Gogh, not during his lifetime. But there's enough difference, there's enough colour and variation in all those for me to be pulled towards them, not as a group of people who are just smart or experts or anything that's deemed unpopular these days, but just, they're also human beings and individuals, and they come with all sizes and shapes and variations of problems and environments and times and politics and all the kind of surround that makes characters live in their own story, whether real or I think so, and I have played a few people who are less intelligent, but in their own. What are you thinking? The biopic?
I'm thinking the biopic.
Has it been mentioned?
Yeah.
I could, it could work.
Yeah.
I think it could work.
You probably would have to wear a mask though, because I've had so much work done, Benedict. And the next time we meet, I'll be absolutely unrecognisable. I love you, dear boy.
So nice to see you again.
God bless you.
Thank you very much.